Have you ever been in a situation where someone asks you a simple question in English, like "tell me about yourself," and your mind just goes blank? Completely empty. You can feel the panic start to rise, your heart beats a little faster, and you just manage to stammer out a few disconnected words. I know that feeling. I've been there. It's terrifying. But what if I told you that never has to happen again? What if you could have a simple, clear, and confident way to talk about yourself, ready for any situation? Welcome to your daily English speaking practice. This isn't a traditional language course. This is your personal coaching session, designed to take you from feeling stuck and silent to feeling fluent and self-assured when talking about the most important person in your life, you. We will build this skill together, piece by piece, one simple step at a time. And I promise you, by the end of our time together, that question, "tell me about yourself," will become your favorite invitation to shine. Let's start with the absolute foundation. The number one secret to talking about yourself isn't about knowing 1,000 fancy words. It's about structure. Think of it like building a house. You need a strong foundation and a solid frame before you can paint the walls and hang the pictures. Our foundation is a simple sentence structure. In English, the most basic and powerful structure is subject plus verb plus object. I know it sounds too simple, but mastering this is your key to unlocking confidence. For example, I have a dog. Subject, I, plus verb, have, plus object, a dog. She likes music. Subject, she, plus verb, likes, plus object, music. This structure is your best friend. It will never let you down. When you feel panic starting, just come back to this simple formula. You can say anything with it. Our first practice today is to create your core sentence. This is the sentence that will be the starting point for almost every introduction you ever make. I want you to say it with me. Just one sentence. Are you ready? Say, "My name is," and then add your name. Say it out loud, right now. My name is, your name. Perfect. You just used the subject plus verb plus object structure. My name is the subject, is the verb, and your name is the object. You are already building your foundation. Now, let's add one more piece of information. Let's talk about where you are from. This is another incredibly common question. So, let's practice, "I am from." And then say your city or country. I am from Mexico City. Or I am from Vietnam. Say your sentence out loud. I am from. Feel how your mouth moves. Hear the sound of your own voice speaking English with a purpose. This is how we build muscle memory, not just in your mind, but in your mouth. Now, let's build on that. You've just told me your name and where you are from. That is fantastic. But we can make it even more powerful and natural. In English, we often combine these two ideas into a smoother introduction. Instead of two separate sentences, we can connect them. Listen to this, "My name is Anna, and I am from Sao Paulo." Or, "My name is Kenji, and I'm from Tokyo." Do you hear how that flows? The little word "and" is your bridge. It connects your ideas and makes you sound more fluent immediately. I want you to practice that right now. Say your combined sentence out loud. My name is, your name, and I am from, your city/country. Fantastic. You are not just learning words, you are learning the music of the language, the rhythm of a natural introduction. Let's add one more essential piece. We have your name and your origin. Now, let's talk about where you live now. This is different from where you are from. Sometimes they are the same place, and sometimes they are not. This is a very useful distinction. For example, I could say, I am from Italy, but I live in London. Or, I am from a small village, but now I live in the capital city. So, let's learn the key phrase, I live in. It's so simple, but so important. Practice saying, I live in. And then say your city or town. I live in Madrid. I live in Bangkok. Now, let's put it all together into a super introduction. Are you ready? Here it is, my name is, your name. I'm from, your country, and I live in, your city. This is your first complete introduction. It has 3 key pieces of information. This is what we call a solid foundation. You can use this in so many situations. When you meet a new colleague, when you introduce yourself in an online class, or when you simply start a conversation with someone new. I want you to repeat this full introduction 3 times. Out loud. Don't just read it in your mind. Your voice and your ears need to get used to the sounds and the rhythm. Each time, try to say it a little smoother, a little more confidently. Remember, practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent. So let's make confident speaking a permanent habit for you. Now that we have a strong foundation, let's give people a real sense of who you are. The next most common thing people want to know is what you do. Your work, your studies, your daily life. This is where you can start to truly personalize your introduction. The simplest way to talk about your profession is with the phrase, I am a. For example, I am a student. I am a teacher. I am an engineer. I am a chef. Notice how we use it before most jobs, but we use it before jobs that start with a vowel sound, like an artist or an accountant. This is a very clear and direct way to state your profession. But let's make it even more natural and conversational. We often use the verb work as or work in. For example, I work as a designer. Or I work in sales. I work in a hospital. These phrases are extremely common and very useful. They allow for a little more detail. You can say, I work in a school, which tells people your environment even if you don't say the exact job title. Let's integrate this into our growing introduction. We'll connect it with our bridge word, and. So, listen to this full example. My name is David. I'm from Poland, I live in Krakow, and I work as a software developer. Or, my name is Yuki. I'm from Japan, I live in Osaka, and I am a student. Do you see how we are building a complete picture? I want you to practice your own version now. Take a moment to think. What is the simplest way to describe what you do? Are you a student? A doctor? A manager? A homemaker? I am a homemaker is a perfect and respected thing to say. Whatever it is, find your phrase. I am a. Or I work as a. Or I work in. Now, let's put it all together. Repeat after me, creating your own sentence. My name is, your name. I'm from your country, I live in your city, and I am your job. Say it out loud. Feel the flow. You are no longer just giving facts, you are telling a small part of your story. This is the beginning of fluency. It's not about complexity, it's about connection. And you are doing it. Excellent progress. You now have a powerful introduction that covers your identity, your location, and your profession. This is incredible for just starting out. But people are more than their jobs. The next step to making a memorable connection is to share a little piece of your personality. How do we do that? We talk about our hobbies and interests. This is where your introduction becomes truly yours. It moves from a formal report to a friendly conversation. The simplest and most effective way to talk about your hobbies is with the verb like. We use the structure I like followed by the activity you enjoy. For example, I like reading. I like cooking. I like playing football. Notice that when the activity is a verb, we often use the ing form. This is called a gerund. So, it's I like swimming, not I like swim. This is a small but very important grammar point that will make your English sound correct and natural. You can also use I enjoy, which is a little stronger than like. I enjoy painting. I enjoy hiking in the mountains. Let's add this to our introduction. We can use another connecting word, in my free time. This phrase is a classic and it works perfectly. So, listen to this expanded example. My name is David. I'm from Poland, I live in Krakow, and I work as a software developer. In my free time, I like reading and playing the guitar. Your turn now. What do you genuinely enjoy doing when you are not working or studying? Do you like listening to music? Watching movies? Spending time with your family? Choose one or two simple activities. Now, create your full sentence. In my free time, I like your hobby. Practice saying it. Remember to use the ing form for the activity. This small detail makes a huge difference. You are not just listing words, you are building grammatically correct sentences that open a window into your life. Now we have a fantastic introduction, but let's make your hobbies and interests sound even more vibrant. Using like is perfect, but sometimes you want to express a stronger passion. This is where the word love comes in. I love swimming. I love cooking for my friends. Love shows a deeper enjoyment. Another great phrase is I'm really into, which is a very common informal expression. For example, I'm really into sci-fi movies, or I'm really into video games. Using these stronger phrases makes your personality shine through. It gives the other person a better hook to continue the conversation. If you say, I like music, it's a bit general. But if you say, I'm really into Korean pop music, or I love classical piano, it invites more questions and shows a specific interest. Let's integrate this into our practice. Take the hobby you mentioned earlier. Now, try saying it with a stronger verb. Say, I really enjoy your hobby, or I love your hobby. Feel the difference in the emotion? You are communicating not just an activity, but a part of your identity. Now, let's add another universal topic, family. This is a very common and warm part of talking about yourself. We use this simple structure I have to talk about our family members. For example, I have a brother. I have two sisters. I have a son and a daughter. To describe your marital status, you can say, I am married or I am single. You can combine these ideas. For instance, I am married and I have two children. Or, I am single and I live with my cat. Let's add this to our growing story. Our example now becomes, my name is David. I'm from Poland, I live in Krakow, and I work as a software developer. I am married, and I have a young daughter. In my free time, I love playing the guitar and reading history books. You try. Think about your family situation. Create a simple sentence. I am. And then your status. And if applicable, I have. And your family members. Now, weave it into your introduction. You are building a rich, multi-layered description of yourself, all using simple, powerful sentences. We have covered so much ground already. Your self-introduction now has depth and personality. But let's paint an even clearer picture of your daily life. Where do you live? Not just the city, but your home. This makes your story tangible and relatable. The easiest way to describe your living situation is with I live in a. For example, I live in an apartment. I live in a house. I live in a small flat. You can add a little more detail with the location. I live in an apartment in the city center. Or, I live in a house in the suburbs. This simple information gives people a visual image of your environment. It's another conversation starter. Maybe they also live in an apartment, or perhaps they dream of living in a house in the countryside. Now, let's revisit the family topic and add a little more detail about the people you share your life with. Instead of just saying, I have a brother, you can make it more descriptive. Use adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe nouns. They are the color in your sentences. For example, I have an older brother. I have two younger sisters. I have a big dog. See how older, younger, and big instantly create a clearer image? You can combine this with your living situation. For example, I live in a small apartment with my husband. Or, I live in a big house with my parents and my younger brother. Let's practice this. Create a sentence that describes your home and who you live with. I live in a type of home with my family. Say it out loud. Now, let's create our most detailed introduction yet. Here is an example. My name is David. I'm from Poland, I live in Krakow, and I work as a software developer. I am married, and I have a young daughter. We live in a small apartment near the old town. In my free time, I love playing the guitar and reading history books. You try. Combine all the elements we have practiced. Take your time. This is your story. Wonderful. You are now constructing a detailed and authentic description of your life. But to truly make a connection, we need to go beyond the facts and share a bit of our character. This is where adjectives become your best friend. We use them to describe family members, but now let's use them to describe you. Think of 3 simple adjectives that describe your personality. Are you a quiet person? You can say, I am a quiet person. Are you outgoing and social? I am an outgoing person. Some other useful adjectives are curious, hardworking, friendly, patient, or creative. Choose the ones that feel true to you. Now, let's start your introduction with this powerful personal statement. For example, instead of just starting with your name, you can say, "I'm a very curious person, so I love learning new things. My name is David." This immediately grabs attention and sets the tone for everything that follows. Next, let's make your hobbies more vivid. Instead of just saying, "I like reading," let's add what you like to read. I really enjoy reading historical novels. Instead of "I like music," say, "I'm passionate about jazz music." This specificity is like a magnet for conversation. It gives the other person a clear path to ask a follow-up question, like, "Oh, what's your favorite historical period?" or "Who is your favorite jazz artist?" Our example is now transforming into a rich narrative. I'm a very creative person, and I love expressing myself through music. My name is David. I'm from Poland, I live in Krakow, and I work as a software developer. I am married, and I have a young daughter. We live in a small apartment near the old town. In my free time, I love playing the guitar, and I'm really into reading history books, especially about ancient Rome. Do you see how the simple facts have now become a story? You are not just listing data, you are revealing layers of your identity. This makes you memorable. It makes the conversation flow naturally. Practice this version. Start with a sentence about your personality, and then give specific details about your hobbies. You are no longer just speaking English, you are using English to share who you are. Now, let's take a huge leap forward in making your introduction not just informative, but also inspiring and deeply personal. We've talked about who you are and what you do. Now, let's talk about your dreams. Sharing an aspiration or a goal creates an immediate emotional connection and shows that you are a person with a future and ambitions. The simplest way to express a dream is with the phrase "I dream of," followed by a gerund, the ing form of the verb. For example, I dream of traveling the world. I dream of starting my own business. I dream of becoming a fluent English speaker. Another powerful phrase is "my goal is to," which is slightly more determined and focused. My goal is to learn French. My goal is to buy a house. This part of your introduction is where you can truly inspire and be inspired. It shifts the conversation from the present moment to the future possibilities. It shows that you are proactive and have a vision for your life. This is incredibly attractive in any social or professional setting. Let's integrate this into our master example. We can use a transition phrase like, "for the future," or "one of my biggest goals is." Listen to how this sounds. My name is David. I'm from Poland, I live in Krakow, and I work as a software developer. I am married, and I have a young daughter. In my free time, I love playing the guitar and reading about ancient Rome. For the future, I dream of writing my own novel one day. You try. What is a simple, genuine dream or goal you have? It doesn't have to be a huge, life-changing goal. It can be something like, "I dream of visiting Japan," or "My goal is to run a marathon." Think about it and formulate your sentence. Now, add it to the end of your full introduction. Practice saying the entire thing out loud. Notice how ending with a dream leaves a positive and lasting impression. It turns your introduction from a report into a story with an open ending, inviting others to follow along on your journey. We have built a powerful and personal introduction. But there is one final ingredient that can transform it from great to unforgettable: the why. Why do you have this dream? Why do you enjoy that hobby? Sharing the reason behind your interest adds a layer of depth and authenticity that is incredibly compelling. Let's go back to our example with David. He said, "I dream of writing my own novel one day." That's a great goal. But now, let's add the why. He could say, "Because I want to share the stories my grandmother told me when I was a child." Do you feel the difference? The dream is no longer just an abstract idea, it has a heart and a history. It becomes a story in itself. Similarly, with hobbies. Instead of just "I love playing the guitar," you could say, "I love playing the guitar because it helps me relax after a long day." Or, "I'm really into history because I find it fascinating how the past shapes our present." The word "because" is your key here. It unlocks the motivation behind your actions and feelings. This requires a slightly more complex sentence structure, but it's one you can absolutely master. We use two clauses connected by "because." The first clause states the fact, and the second clause gives the reason. I love A because B. This is a natural and fluent way to speak in English. Your task now is to think about the why for one of your statements. Choose your dream or your main hobby. Ask yourself, why is this important to me? What does it give me? How did it start? Your reason can be simple. It doesn't need to be profound. I want to travel because I love meeting new people. I enjoy cooking because it makes my family happy. Authenticity is what matters. Now, let's hear our final, enriched example. My name is David. I'm a creative person, and I love expressing myself through music. I'm from Poland, I live in Krakow, and I work as a software developer. I am married, and I have a young daughter. We live in a small apartment near the old town. In my free time, I love playing the guitar because it fills our home with music and joy. For the future, I dream of writing my own novel one day because I want to share the stories my grandmother told me. Practice adding your "because" to your introduction. Don't worry about perfection. Focus on connecting your facts with your feelings. This is the ultimate goal of speaking a language, to share not just information, but meaning. You are now doing that beautifully. Now you have a powerful and complete introduction. It tells your story. But the real world isn't a script. People don't always listen to your entire prepared speech. They might interrupt, or they might ask a follow-up question about just one part. This is the final, and most important, skill we will practice: flexibility. You need to be able to take your introduction apart and use the pieces in a natural, flowing conversation. Think of your introduction not as a single block of text, but as a toolkit. Inside this toolkit, you have all the components we've built: your name, your origin, your home, your job, your family, your hobbies, your dreams, and your reasons. In a real conversation, you might only need 2 or 3 of these tools at a time. The key is to listen to the question and choose the right tool to answer. For example, if someone asks, "So, what do you do?" you don't need to start with "My name is." You can go straight to the relevant part: "I work as a software developer," or "I'm a student, I'm studying biology." If they ask, "What are you passionate about?" you can skip your job and talk directly about your hobbies and dreams. "I'm really into photography. My dream is to have my own exhibition one day." This is how fluent speakers communicate. They don't recite, they respond. Your practice from now on is to become comfortable with each individual piece of your story. Practice saying just your job sentence by itself. Practice just your hobby sentence with the reason. Practice just your dream sentence. Make each component strong and independent. Let's try it. I will give you a question, and you answer using only 1 or 2 sentences from your toolkit. Question: where are you from originally? Your answer: I'm from your country. Perfect. That's all that was needed. Question: what do you like to do for fun? Your answer: in my free time, I really enjoy your hobby because your reason. Excellent. You are responding directly and naturally. This flexible approach takes the pressure off. You don't need to remember a long script. You just need to remember your key pieces of information and learn to assemble them on the spot, like building blocks. This is the secret to sounding confident and natural. Keep practicing your full introduction to strengthen the pieces, but also start practicing the pieces alone. You are building true conversational fluency now. This ability to be flexible leads us to a crucial skill: handling interruptions and questions. What happens when someone asks you a question in the middle of your introduction? This is not a failure, it's a success. It means they are engaged and want to know more. Let's learn how to welcome these questions smoothly. The first tool you need is a simple acknowledgement. This gives you a moment to think and shows you are listening. Simple phrases like, "That's a good question," or "Oh, I'd be happy to talk about that," are perfect. They are polite and buy you a second to access your mental toolkit. Then, you answer the specific question directly. After your answer, you have a choice. You can stop, or you can gently guide the conversation back to where you were. For example, imagine you are saying, "I live in a small apartment." And someone asks, "Oh, which neighborhood?" You can smile and say, "That's a good question. I live near the old town. It's a very beautiful area. As I was saying, I live in a small apartment there with my family." Let's practice a common interruption. You say, "I work as a software developer," and someone asks, "What kind of software do you develop?" Your response: "I'm glad you asked. I mainly work on educational apps for children. It's very rewarding. So, in my free time, I like to do something completely different, like playing the guitar." The key is not to see the question as a disruption of your script, but as a natural part of the conversation flow. Your prepared information is not a chain of sentences that must be said in order, it is a pool of information you can draw from in any sequence. This mindset shift is everything. It turns anxiety into opportunity. Every question is a chance to deepen the connection and practice a different part of your English toolkit. So, welcome the questions. They are proof that you are doing well. Now that we are comfortable with the structure and flow of talking about ourselves, we must address the single biggest fear for every beginner: making mistakes. Let me tell you a secret that every fluent speaker knows. Making mistakes is not a sign of failure, it is the absolute proof that you are learning. It is the most natural and necessary part of the process. Your goal is not to speak perfect English. Your goal is to communicate your ideas effectively, and that is possible even with mistakes. Let's talk about some very common mistakes beginners make. First, the dreaded he and she mix-up. This is so common. Remember, he is for males, she is for females. It's a simple rule, but in the speed of conversation, it's easy to switch them. Don't panic if you do it. Just gently correct yourself and move on. She is my. I'm sorry, he is my brother. This shows you are in control. Another common area is forgetting the S in the third person singular. We say I like, you like, we like, but for he, she, or it, we say likes. He likes music. She lives in a city. This is a small sound, but it makes a big difference. Practice this by making simple sentences about a friend or a family member. My wife likes coffee. My brother plays football. Also, the order of adjectives. When you describe your big, friendly dog, that is the correct order, size before personality. But if you say friendly, big dog, it's okay. People will understand you perfectly. Do not let the fear of a small word order mistake stop you from using descriptive words. Being understood is always the priority. Embrace your mistakes. They are not your enemies, they are your teachers. Every time you make a mistake and correct it, you learn twice as much. Now, let's focus on a subtle but powerful upgrade, moving from a correct introduction to a natural and flowing one. The sentences we have built are perfect, but when we speak naturally, we connect our ideas smoothly and use common spoken English shortcuts. The most important of these are contractions. Contractions are words like I'm instead of I am, it's instead of it is, and I'd instead of I would. Using them is not informal or sloppy, it is the standard way of speaking English. Saying I am from Poland is grammatically perfect, but saying I'm from Poland sounds much more natural and relaxed. We use them all the time. Let's rewrite our core sentences with contractions. My name is David becomes my name's David. I am from Poland becomes I'm from Poland. I am married becomes I'm married. I would like to travel becomes I'd like to travel. Practice saying your introduction again, but this time, consciously use contractions. Feel the rhythm change. It becomes less like a recitation and more like a conversation. Another technique is using filler words to smooth the transitions. Words like well, so, actually, and you know can make you sound more fluid. For example, instead of a stark my name is David. I'm from Poland, you can say, well, my name's David, and I'm originally from Poland. The word well gives you a gentle start. So, I work as a developer can introduce your job smoothly. Use these words sparingly, but do use them. They are the lubricant of natural conversation. Also, try starting your sentences in different ways. Instead of always saying I like, you can say I've always been interested in. Or one thing I really enjoy is. This variation in your sentence starters makes your speech dynamic and engaging. You are not a robot listing facts, you are a person sharing a story. And stories have rhythm, emotion, and a natural, flowing cadence. Now, let's move from theory to active, daily practice. Knowing what to say is one thing, making it a natural and automatic part of your speech is another. This requires a specific type of practice. I'm going to give you a simple, powerful technique called mirror practice. This is your secret weapon for building confidence and fluency from the comfort of your own home. Here is what you do. Stand in front of a mirror. Yes, literally. Look at yourself and deliver your introduction. Start with the full version we built. My name's. I'm from. I live in. I work as. In my free time. Talk to your reflection as if it is a new person you've just met. Pay attention to your body language. Are you smiling? Are you standing straight? Your body communicates as much as your words do. The first few times, it will feel strange. You might feel shy or even silly. This is completely normal. Push through that feeling. This practice does two things. It trains your mouth to form the English sentences smoothly, and it trains your brain to associate the act of speaking English with confidence and eye contact. Do this for just 5 minutes every day. Consistency is far more important than duration. Another incredibly effective method is chunking. Don't always practice the entire introduction. Break it into chunks. While you are cooking dinner, practice just saying your hobbies and reasons chunk out loud. I really enjoy cooking because I love trying new recipes. While you are commuting, practice your job chunk. I work as an accountant. It's a detailed job, but I like it. This integrates your English practice into your daily life and makes the sentences come to you more easily when you need them. Finally, record yourself on your phone. Listen back to the recording. Don't criticize your accent, instead, listen for fluency. Are you speaking smoothly? Are you pausing in the right places? This objective feedback is invaluable. You are your own best coach. This daily, active practice is what will transform your English from knowledge you have to a skill you use effortlessly. A crucial part of making your English sound more natural and less textbook-like is expanding your vocabulary in a smart, usable way. You don't need to learn 1,000 obscure words. You need to learn a few powerful alternatives to the most common words you already use. This is how you move from simple, correct sentences to more expressive and engaging ones. Let's start with the word like. It's a great word, but we have other options. Instead of always saying I like music, you can say I enjoy music or I'm fond of rock music. To express a stronger feeling, use I love or I'm passionate about. For example, I'm passionate about environmental protection. Another excellent phrase is I'm a big fan of. As in, I'm a big fan of science fiction movies. The same goes for good. When you describe your family, your job, or your hobbies, instead of saying it is good, you can use more descriptive adjectives. Is your job interesting? Challenging? Rewarding? Is your hobby relaxing? Creative? Stimulating? For instance, my job is very challenging, but it is also rewarding. Or, I find reading to be very relaxing. Your assignment for today is to choose one of your core sentences and upgrade one word in it. Look at the sentence, I am your job. Can you add one adjective to describe it? I am a dedicated teacher. I am a creative designer. Now, look at your hobby sentence. Can you replace like with a stronger verb? I love swimming. I really enjoy painting. This process of incremental upgrades is how your vocabulary grows organically and usefully. You are not memorizing lists, you are enhancing the story you already tell so well. We have worked on the structure, the vocabulary, and the flow. Now, let's unlock the highest level of speaking, creating a vivid experience for the listener. The most memorable communicators don't just tell you information, they make you see and feel it. They use sensory language. This means using words that relate to the five senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Let's transform your sentences from simple statements into mini movies. Instead of saying, "I am a teacher," you could say, "I am a teacher, and I love the noisy, energetic sound of my classroom when the students are working on a project." Do you see the difference? The first sentence is a fact. The second sentence is an experience. You can almost hear the classroom. Think about your hobbies. If you love cooking, don't just say, "I like cooking." Describe it. "I love the smell of garlic and onions frying in the pan." If you enjoy hiking, say, "I enjoy the feeling of the fresh mountain air on my face." If you like reading, you could say, "I love the quiet sound of turning a page in a good book." These small details are incredibly powerful. Your task is to choose one part of your introduction and add one sensory detail. Think about the environment of your job or your hobby. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you smell? Connect that sensation to your sentence. For example, let's take David's introduction. He could now say, "In my free time, I love playing the guitar. I find the feeling of the strings under my fingers and the sound of the music filling the room very peaceful." This description makes his hobby come alive. It's no longer just an activity, it's a sensory escape. Practice adding this layer to your own story. You are not just learning to speak English, you are learning to paint with words. It is time to put all the pieces together into real-world scenarios. The true test of your skills is not in a controlled practice, but in the unpredictable flow of a live conversation. Let's simulate 3 different situations. I will play the other person, and you will respond using your toolkit. Remember to be flexible, use contractions, and add your sensory details. First scenario, a casual introduction at a community event. "Hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Sarah. What's your name?" Your response should be short and friendly. "Hi Sarah, my name's," your name. "It's nice to meet you." You can stop there, or if the moment feels right, add one more piece. "I just moved into the neighborhood, actually." Second scenario, a professional networking setting. "Hello, thanks for coming. So, what do you do?" Here, you lead with your profession. "Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. I work as your job. I'm currently focusing on a specific detail. For example, I work as a graphic designer. I'm currently focusing on branding for small businesses." This is precise and invites further questions. Third scenario, a more personal conversation at a friend's party. "So, your name, what do you get up to when you're not working?" This is your chance to shine with your hobbies and sensory language. "Well, outside of work, I'm a huge music lover. I play the guitar, and I really love the feeling of getting completely lost in a song. It's my favorite way to unwind." See how you used a stronger phrase, a huge music lover, and the sensory feeling of getting completely lost in a song? Your task is to write down and practice your own responses for these 3 scenarios. Keep them nearby. The goal is not to memorize them perfectly, but to get so comfortable with the possible variations that your mind starts to see conversations not as tests, but as opportunities to share different parts of your story. You have all the tools. Now it's about choosing the right one for the moment. A final, and very common, challenge is when someone asks you a question you did not prepare for, a question that goes beyond your practice toolkit. This can feel like a trap, but it is actually a golden opportunity. The key is not to know every answer, but to know how to handle the unknown gracefully. This is a skill even native speakers use constantly. You need two types of phrases: buying time phrases and redirecting phrases. Buying time phrases give your brain a few extra seconds to think. The simplest and most useful one is, "That's a good question." You can say this with a smile before you answer almost any unexpected question. Other options are, "Let me think about that for a second," or "Oh, I've never been asked that before." Then, you have two choices. You can attempt a direct answer, or you can use a redirecting phrase to gently guide the conversation back to a topic you are more comfortable with. For example, if someone asks, "What is your opinion on the new technology in your field?" and you find it difficult to answer, you could say, "That's a good question. The technology is changing very fast." In my own work, I primarily focus on making the user experience very simple and intuitive, which is something I'm really passionate about. Do you see what happened? You acknowledged the question, gave a very general response, and then bridged to a topic you can talk about with confidence, your own passion and work. This is not avoiding the question, it is skillfully managing the conversation. You remain in control, you sound thoughtful, and you continue to communicate effectively. Let's practice with a personal question. Suppose someone asks, "What is the biggest challenge you've faced in your life?" This is deep and unexpected. Your response could be, "That's a big question. Let me think." I believe every challenge teaches us something. A personal challenge for me was moving to a new city, but it really helped me become more independent and resilient. It actually connects to why I love your hobby so much, because it helped me during that time. Practice this bridging technique. It empowers you to handle any question calmly and confidently, turning potential stumbling blocks into stepping stones for a deeper connection. We are approaching the end of our journey together, but this is truly where your own journey begins. You have built a comprehensive toolkit. You have practiced the phrases, the flow, the flexibility, and the flair for description. Now, it is time to talk about the most important ingredient of all: consistency. Fluency is not a destination you arrive at, it is a path you walk every single day. Your mission is to make English a small but non-negotiable part of your daily routine. This does not mean hours of study. It means 5 to 10 minutes of conscious, focused speaking practice. The mirror practice we discussed is perfect for this. So is talking to yourself in English while you do chores. Describe what you are doing. Now I am washing the dishes. The water is very hot. I need to clean this pot. This seems simple, but it wires your brain to think in English for everyday tasks. Another powerful method is to find a practice buddy. This could be a friend who is also learning, or a patient family member. Your goal with them is not to have a perfect conversation, but to create a safe space where mistakes are allowed and even laughed about. The pressure disappears when you know the other person is also learning. You can share one new sentence you learned each day. Set a tiny, achievable goal for yourself. For example, this week, I will master my self-introduction and use it with one person. Or, I will learn 3 new adjectives to describe my personality. Small wins build immense confidence. They prove to you that you are capable and that you are moving forward. Remember the feeling of panic we talked about at the very beginning? That feeling comes from the unknown. You now have a map. You know exactly what to say and how to say it. You have practiced for this. When that question comes, "Can you tell me about yourself?" you will no longer see a void. You will see a menu of well-rehearsed, personal, and meaningful answers. You will take a breath, smile, and begin your story. You are ready. Let's begin your first official daily practice. I want you to speak out loud with me. We will go through your complete introduction step by step. Do not just think the words. You must give your voice and your ears the experience of speaking and hearing English. This physical practice is irreplaceable. Are you ready? Let's begin. First, take a calm breath. Smile. This signals confidence to your brain and to anyone listening. Now, start with your name. Say it clearly and with pride. My name is, your name. Next, your origin. I'm from, your country. Now, where you live. I live in, your city. Your profession. I work as your job, or I am your job. A detail about your family. I am married/single, and I have your family details. Your hobbies, with a sensory detail. In my free time, I love your hobby because I really enjoy the sensory detail, sight, sound, feeling. Your dream for the future. One of my goals is your dream, because, your reason. Finally, a closing. It's really nice to meet you. Now, let's put it all together in a fluid, natural monologue. Listen to my example, and then you will create your own. Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's David. I'm originally from Poland, but I live in Krakow now. I work as a software developer, which I find very challenging and creative. I'm married and we have a young daughter. In my free time, I'm really into playing the guitar. I love the feeling of getting lost in the music. For the future, I dream of writing a novel because I have so many stories I want to share. Thanks for listening. Now it is your turn. Use the structure, but speak in your own words. Do not strive for perfection. Strive for communication. Speak with confidence. You have practiced every piece of this. You are prepared. This is your story. Tell it. Your practice with a friend is the perfect bridge to the final stage, speaking with strangers. This might sound intimidating, but you are now equipped for it. The goal is not a long, deep conversation. The goal is a short, positive interaction that builds your confidence one small success at a time. Start with service personnel. These are people who are paid to be helpful and polite, like a cashier in a quiet coffee shop or a librarian. The interaction is brief and predictable, making it a safe training ground. Your task is to go beyond the basic transaction. When the cashier says, "That will be $5, instead of just taking your coffee and leaving, you can add one simple sentence. Make eye contact, smile, and say, "Thank you. Have a nice day." This is a complete, polite English interaction. You did it. When you are ready, you can add a little more. If you are in a bookstore and you find what you need, you can ask the assistant a prepared question. "Excuse me, could you tell me where the history books are?" You know you will likely get a simple answer like, aisle 4. You can respond with, thank you so much for your help. You have now successfully initiated and closed a micro-conversation. The magic of these small interactions is that they prove to your subconscious mind that you can function in English in the real world. Each thank you and each smile received in return is a reward that reinforces your confidence. There is no pressure for a long talk. Your only job is to be polite and use one or two of your prepared sentences. Keep a small journal. At the end of each day, write down one English interaction you had, no matter how small. Today, I said good morning to the security guard. Today, I asked for a coffee and said thank you. Watching this list grow is tangible proof of your progress. You are no longer just a learner in practice, you are a speaker in the world. And that is the most important practice of all. This is it. The final piece of the puzzle. We have built your skills from the ground up. Now, we must address the inner barrier that holds back even the most prepared learners, the fear of being judged. This fear is natural, but it is not helpful. The truth is, most people are not judging your English, they are appreciating your effort to communicate in their language. Think about a time someone spoke to you in your native language. Did you criticize their accent or a small grammar mistake? Or did you feel impressed by their courage and willing to help them? Most people feel the second way. We admire those who try. Give others the same credit. Assume they are on your side, because most of the time, they are. Reframe the feeling in your body. That nervous energy, the quick heartbeat, the alertness, this is not just fear. It is also excitement. Your body prepares in the same way for both emotions. The next time you feel nervous before speaking English, say to yourself, I am excited. This is an opportunity to use what I have learned. This simple mental switch can transform your experience. Your final mission is an act of courage. This week, you will initiate one conversation. Just one. It could be with a classmate you haven't spoken to before, a colleague at work, or someone in an online language group. Your script is simple. Walk up, smile, and use your core sentence, Hi, my name is, your name. It's nice to meet you. That is all you need to start. The rest will flow from the toolkit you have so carefully built. You are no longer a beginner who doesn't know what to say. You are a speaker with a story to tell. You have a clear voice and a powerful introduction. You have practiced. You have prepared. You are ready. The world is waiting to hear your story. Go and introduce yourself. The foundation we have built is strong, but a language is a living thing. To keep it alive within you, you must feed it continuously. Let's talk about how to integrate English into the very fabric of your daily life, making practice not something you do, but something that happens naturally throughout your day. This is the secret to lifelong, effortless fluency. Begin with your environment. Change the language on your phone to English for one day each week. This will force you to encounter common vocabulary like settings, search, and send in a real context. Listen to English language music during your commute. Don't just have it as background noise, actively try to pick out 3 words you understand from a song. Read the labels on your food products in English. These are micro lessons that require no extra time. Next, engage in passive consumption with a purpose. Watch a short YouTube video on a topic you enjoy, cooking, technology, reviews in English. Use the captions. Your goal is not to understand every word, but to follow the main idea. Your brain is amazingly capable of absorbing sentence patterns and vocabulary from context. This is how you learned your first language, and it is how you will solidify your second. Finally, find a simple English text to read. It could be a news headline, a short comic strip, or a recipe. Read one sentence aloud. Then, close the text and try to say that same sentence in your own words. For example, if the sentence is "The man walked quickly to the store," you can say, "The man went to the shop very fast." This is called paraphrasing, and it is a powerful tool for making the language your own. It proves you understand the meaning, not just the words. This consistent, integrated exposure is what prevents your hard-earned knowledge from fading. It moves English from a subject you study to a tool you use to interact with the world. You are not just a student of English, you are a user of English. And that is the most significant shift of all. We have reached the final stage of our practice. This is not an end, but a new beginning. You began this journey feeling unsure, perhaps even nervous about a simple introduction. Now, you have a complete, flexible, and personal way to talk about yourself. You have structure, you have vocabulary, you have pronunciation practice, and most importantly, you have a new mindset. Let us take one last moment to review the journey. We started with the absolute foundation, "My name is." We built up to your origin, your home, your work, and your family. We added color with your hobbies and the sensory details that make them come alive. We gave your story a future with your dreams and goals. We learned to be flexible, to handle surprises, and to speak with natural rhythm. The final step is to fully own this achievement. Say these words out loud: "I can introduce myself confidently in English." This is not a hope, it is a statement of fact. You have done the work. You have practiced the sentences. You have the tools. The confidence comes from knowing you are prepared. You are not the same person who started this journey. Your path forward is clear. Continue your daily mirror practice. Seek out those small, safe interactions. Be kind to yourself when you make a mistake, and celebrate every single time you successfully share your story. Remember, every fluent speaker was once a beginner who decided to keep going. You have done more than just learn, you have built a solid foundation for a lifetime of English communication. Be proud of that. You have earned it. This is your moment. Right here, right now. I want you to press record on your phone. Take a deep, calming breath. Look directly into the camera lens as if it is a new friend's eyes. And I want you to deliver your introduction. Your full, complete, and powerful story. Use everything we have practiced. Speak from your heart, not just from your memory. Remember your structure. Start with your name and origin. Share where you live and what you do. Talk about your family. Describe your hobbies with those vivid, sensory details. And finally, share your dream for the future, the reason that fuels you. Use contractions. Smile. Let your personality shine through. This recording is not for me. It is for you. It is your personal benchmark. It is proof of how far you have come. When you are done, save it. You can keep it private, or if you feel brave, share it with one person you trust. This act of finalizing and documenting your introduction solidifies it in your mind. It marks the end of your beginning. From this day forward, you are not a beginner struggling to find words. You are a speaker of English, with a story ready to be told. I am so incredibly proud of the work you have done. Now, go and introduce yourself to the world. They are waiting to hear you.